Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching me from. It's good to be back from the long vacation. It's been a while, it's been a few days, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'll give you 1 second. Okay. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much. Thank you guys for staying right here with me. Today I will be talking about the attestation letter for people for international students in Canada, the Provincial Attestation Letter, PAL. So the Provincial Attestation Letter, the process for international students in Canada or of Canada, like people that are not here yet but they're planning to come, and those that are inside here, for general international students. Without wasting much time, let's get right into it. If you are a student and if you are planning to study here in Canada, this video is for you. Don't skip. If you know someone that wants to study in Canada, that is planning to apply for study visa, this video is for you. So please stay tuned, and you will get all the information you need concerning the Provincial Attestation Letter. Okay, let's get right into it.
I was counting my blessings. I felt beaten.
All right. So, like I said earlier, if you are an international student planning to study in Canada, this information I am going to give out right now is for you. Okay. You remember on January 22nd, 2024, this year, the Canada Immigration Minister Honorable Mark Miller, announced a new set of measures which was aiming at stabilizing the growth of international students in Canada and putting a cap on the number of study permits to be issued this year, 2024. Right? So for 2024, the cap is expected to result in approximately 360,000 approved study permits, which is a decrease. So we're looking at a decrease of 35% from 2023, which is the previous year. So we had a lot of students, we had a lot of numbers of international students that came in, and that kind of sprouts a growth. This year they are looking to cut it down by 35%. So IRCC will allocate a portion of the cap to each province and territory, who will then distribute these numbers, distribute the allocation to among their designated learning institutions. So let's say, for example, Ontario. Let's say Ontario, they are giving Ontario a particular number. So Ontario is expected to share this number to all the schools in Ontario. So those are the measures. So as part of the measures, international students in certain programs are now required to obtain a Provincial Attestation Letter, which is the PAL, and submit this with their application. So it means that when you are submitting your application, you need this letter. This letter has to be one of your documents. It has to be in your checklist. So it means that if you submit your application without this letter, your application may likely be refused or returned. So that is one of the measures for submitting study application for Canada this year. So also the provinces and territories are also are expected to establish a process for issuing the PAL, the Provincial Attestation Letter, to students. So which was, the date was March 31st, 2024. And I can tell you for free, some of the provinces, they have already started, it's already live in some of the provinces. Now, I had already made a video previously, and I pointed out those that who need the provincial attestation letter and who do not need them. I'm just going to recap that quickly so that we can get into it. So if who needs a provincial attestation letter? Most post-secondary study permit applicants needs it. Most non-degree granting graduate programs, for example, college and university certificate programs and graduate diplomas, they need it. Anyone else that is not included in that exception list. The people that do not need this attestation letter is primary and secondary school student. They don't need it. Master's or doctoral degree student, you don't need it. In Canada visiting or exchange students studying at a designated learning institution, you do not need it. In Canada, study permit and work permit holders, which includes study permit holders applying for an extension, you don't need it. Guys, if you see me looking on my right, it means I'm trying to give you the fact. I don't want to give you wrong information. So I'm looking at my computer, my laptop, to give you this information so I can give it to you right. Okay. So in Canada, family members of study permit or work permit holders don't need it. So it means that if you are already in Canada and you're a student and then your spouse comes and wants to study as well, they don't need it. If you are a work permit holder and your spouse join you and they want to study, they don't need it as well. So another people that do not need it are students whose application were received by IRCC before 8:30 a.m. on that January 22nd, 2024, which is this year. So let me break it down a little more. It means that if you had submitted your application before 22nd January 2024, you don't need this attestation letter. Let's say you submitted your application on the 21st of January. You don't need this attestation letter. You have already submitted. So, but from 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on the 22nd of January 2024, if you had not submitted before this time and you are planning to submit your application, you need this letter. If you've not submitted till now, don't submit without this letter. You need it. So I'm going to go ahead to give you the provinces that have started issuing these attestation letters and their numbers. So like I said, if you see me looking on my right, that is where I have my facts, so I can give it to you right. Don't be distracted. Take the content and leave the creator. Okay, so as of today, I will be giving you about 10 provinces that have gone live with the attestation letter. So if your school, which you have applied, falls on any of these provinces or territories, you can reach out to your school and request for the attestation letter. So I will start with Ontario because I live in Ontario. So number 1, Ontario. As of March 28, 2024, the Provincial Attestation Letter, which is the PAL process for Ontario, is now in place. Yay! So what it means is that Ontario will allocate 96% of permit applications to publicly assisted colleges and universities, with the remaining 4% allotted to Ontario's language schools, those ones that are taking like French, any language, Spanish, Italian, whatever, to those ones, and then private universities and other institutions. So Ontario is live. Applications will be allocated to institutions based on the following criteria that I'm going to be reading. So this is how they're going to kind of rank it. So they're not just going to be giving it out because you applied for admission, they will just give it out to you. So they want to prioritize it in a way. So prioritize programs in the following high demand areas, including skilled trades, health, human resources, STEM, hospitality, and childcare. So if your program falls into any of this, it means that you're on a top priority when it comes to Ontario. Remember, I'm talking about Ontario right now. It cannot exceed the institution's 2023 permit levels. Ontario cannot take more than what they took last year. As a final backstop, right, the ratio of international permits cannot exceed 55%, exclusive of high demand areas of the institution's 2023 first year domestic enrollment. You should not pass it. So 22 of 23 universities will keep applications at the 2023 levels. Only Agoma University will see a decline from its 2023 applications. 11 of 24 colleges will keep applications at the 2023 levels. So that is that. Colleges with public-private college partnership and Conestoga College will see the largest decline. Now, to acquire this attestation letter to study in Ontario, if you are a student that have applied to Ontario, you have to reach out to your admission office, and they will be the one to guide you to get this attestation letter, not your agent. Second, number 2, British Columbia. British Columbia has started as their attestation letter has already gone live, early March even. So their own has been live since March 4th, 2024. The PAL process for British Columbia gone live is in place. So for them, I have a lot of numbers here which I wouldn't want to drag this video to be so lengthy, but yeah, I just want to let you know, British Columbia, if you have a school in British Columbia, it is now in place. You can go ahead and request for your provincial attestation letter. There are criteria that is going to be highly prioritized, like I said. Depending on the program you applied for, you might not even get this after getting the admission, or after you might not even get this admission, because they're going to be prioritizing it based on what is most needed in Canada. So that is what they're going to be doing. So do well to reach out to your admission office to see how they can assist you with that. The third one is ALBERTA. So ALBERTA started since March 1st as well. I mean, it was one of the first ones to go live. So ALBERTA, if you have any school, if you have applied to any school, or you are planning to apply to any school in ALBERTA, you're good to go. So get it done. The PAL is now in place in ALBERTA. The fourth one is New Brunswick. As of March 18, 2024, the PAL process for New Brunswick is now in place. So if you have any school if you had applied for any school in New Brunswick, or you're planning to apply to any school in New Brunswick, go ahead, you're good to go. The fifth one I have here is Saskatchewan. So Saskatchewan, as of March 13th, the PAL process for Saskatchewan is also now live. So if you have any admission pending, or you had already applied, or you're planning to apply, Saskatchewan, you are good to go. The sixth one is Manitoba. As of March 4th, was also one of the first ones that that got in place. As of March 4, 2024, the PAL process for Manitoba is also now live. So if you have your application, one more thing I'm gonna say is that some of these schools are going to be needing a non-refundable fee higher than what they usually take. So say for instance, if a school requires a 2,000 deposit initially or previously, now they might say $5,000. So do well to check with whichever school that you're applying to, and you will be able to know exactly what they need. but just know that some of the schools are increasing their tuition deposits. The 7th one is Newfoundland and Labrador. So those ones went in place as of March 19, 2024. So if you have intention of going to schooling in any, getting application in any school in Newfoundland, or you are not thinking but now you've heard it from my mouth, you can go ahead. The province is good to go. So you can apply for your admission, get your admission, apply for your PAL, and you are good to go. And if you had already applied and you've been waiting for the attestation letter, go ahead. It is now live. It's in place. The number 8 is Prince Edward Island. So those that applied in Holland College, the universities in Prince Edward Island, here you go. The PAL process for that province is now in place. Okay, so the number 9 on my list is Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia is also in place. I might try to leave some of the links in the description of this video in case you want to make more research. So like I said, some of them are raising their tuition deposit from what it used to be to a bigger amount. So for instance, Prince Edward Island, I think it used to be $1,000. Now they're shooting it up to $5,000. So Nova Scotia, you can do well. Check with your school, any of the universities. I think they have about 10 universities and one college, Nova Scotia Community College. So their own allocation will be distributed to those universities and that college. I think they were allotted about 11,565, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So if you have intention of going to Nova Scotia, or you already applied, you're good to go. It's now in place. So number 10 is Quebec. So if you want to study in Quebec, of course you need attestation letter, which will be issued by Quebec province or government. It's called Quebec Acceptance Certificate, CAQ. So that is the 10th one I have there. So guys, if you have been wondering how you can get your attestation letter, or you've been waiting, or there has been no information, I mean, the schools should be reaching out to students that have active application with them, to let them know that the PAL is now in place. So but in case you've been wondering or you've been waiting, these 10 schools, and as of now, are in place. I think many more will come. Just do well to check with your school, your admission of that office, to get started on how to get the attestation letter so you can submit your application. Okay, so for now, this is all I have for you when it comes to our attestation letter, and I will see you in my next video. Do well to subscribe, share, comment. If you have someone that needs this video, please do well to share. You can share it with your group, share it in your WhatsApp groups, and yes, let's get information circulated to those who need them. Okay, so thank you so much for watching to this point. I'm grateful, and see you in my next video. Until then, it is me, your girl. Bye.
Nothing can separate me from your love. Lord, you are King of Kings. I'm here to give you everything. It's my whole life that I am offering.